Hello, my name is Charlie Carvajal, and I'm a proud descendant of Vicente Flores de Abrego. He is my SAR patriot. I'm also a direct descendant of 1718 Presidio soldiers Francisco Hernandez and Jeronimo Carvajal, and a couple of Canary Islanders from 1731, Salvador Rodriguez and Vicente Travieso. Spanish land grants were mainly given to the Spanish missions, but after the arrival of the 1718 Presidio soldiers, they started to petition the king and asked for land grants, and the king was very gracious and awarded several land grants to the soldiers, and then of course he awarded several land grants to the Canary Islanders automatically, because that was part of the deal. When they arrived here, he was going to give them land grants. The cattle business was a tough business before them, because there were so many cattle, but there was also the hostile Indians, and so they had several raids, and in order to give protection, they'd have to rely on the Presidio soldiers that were either in San Antonio or that were either in La Bahia, which is over there in Goliad. These ranches were all located around Carn City, which is almost halfway between Goliad and San Antonio, and so they didn't have very much protection. So the governor of Texas then, he positioned a fort, El Fuente del Cibolo, and it was right about the halfway mark, and it was a rock bottom low water crossing area where the fort was, and they called that the Carvajal crossing later on, because it was centered right in the middle of the Hernandez land grant, and Hernandez was the ancestor of Jose Luis Carvajal and his wife Maria de Jesus Flores de Abrego, and so they named it the Carvajal Crossings, and he was my third great grandfather. Around 1734 to 1739, the Spanish contributed heavily to the American Revolution, especially the vaqueros and the rancheros. They contributed over 15,000 head of cattle. When Galvez took orders to take over the coastal area of the Gulf, he had around 1,400 troops. Shortly thereafter, that number swelled up to over 7,000. So he needed provisions, and he knew where to get them, because he had worked in the area years past, working in Chihuahua, Mexico, and in central South Texas. He knew where all the cattle were. So he summoned a authorization to form a cattle drive, and his letter reached the governor here in San Antonio in June of 1779. By August of that same year, they had already rounded up over 2,000 head of cattle, and they sent them over there to Louisiana, where he was fighting the British. I just want to say that because I'm 28% Native American, I understand how they might have been hostile to the Spanish when they arrived, and they'd walk these land, and they've hunted these grounds, they fished in these waters for over 12,000 years. And it was difficult for them to make a change, to accept a new way of life. But many did, and in fact, most of them did. And they became patriots. They worked in the cattle drives, they worked in the missions, they worked out in the fields with the missionaries. They also even fought the battles with the Spanish against the British. And so I just wanted to say, in closing, I'm very proud to be a member of this wonderful organization, the Sons of the American Revolution. And so I just want to thank you for your time. And muchas gracias a todos amigos, y que Dios los bendiga.